much at all? Or?
He's been coming and visiting the guys on most game days, so which is good. And that's great. We want him around, so he's welcome as much as he wants.
Yeah. How much of an influence can he still be on these guys?
I think he's a big influence. Just out of the respect of his career and the person he is, for sure. And the guy's won everything and been involved in hockey a long time. He, can add a lot of insight not only to the players but the coaches. We've talked to him too. He wants to come in and talk to us about what he's seen. I'm all for it.
So he's done that? He picked his brain a little bit?
Well, not yet, but, eventually, hopefully, when he feels like he wants to do that or wants to, come talk to us or whatever. I mean, it's up to him.
Pretty amazing that this just happened, 15 days ago, something as traumatic, and now he's going to sit here and talk to the media?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm just happy he's healthy, and he's doing well. It's, it was tough. It was a tough thing, obviously for him and his family and the team, but, he's doing well now, so that's good news.
When you look at his resume, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? And I was just asking Schenner, guys would be envious to have that, and he said, I'll take half of his resume.
Yeah, he's been been a very good player and fortunate to, be involved in as many winning things as, Olympics and World Championships, Stanley Cups, and played a long time. But he deserves it all. He was a real good pro, looked after himself extremely well, trains, does all the right things.
Let's get back to your previous point about maybe you guys picking his brain. I guess it's over 1,300 games if you count playoffs. There's probably something he could add here and there. Huh?
Well, yeah, you see when an ex-player like of his caliber and experience, and he's watching the games. There's all kinds of things that he could come up with, I'm sure, and relate them to us if he feels like he wants to.
When you look at last night, is that one of those situations where, maybe not the kind of game you like to play, but you can prove to yourself that if you have to get into one of those games, you're capable of winning them too?
Well, we have won a couple and lost one in overtime. I bring up 3 of them. One was in Vegas recently. That was a bit of a back and forth shootout, and we ended up on the wrong end of it in overtime. That happened twice, I think, in Vegas. Calgary game, similar game, and then Chicago game. But I kind of viewed all 3 of these Chicago games this year kind of that way. They obviously get up for us. They play us pretty hard and competitive. It's just the kind of way the games go. Last time in here too, we were down 3-0 going in the third period. We ended up scoring 4 goals.
Well, Sundqvist is doing the maintenance days, but last night looked like he was in some pain. You worried about him at all, being able to get through this long stretch?
I think we're giving him enough time off and stuff to heal. And the one play there, he got a stick in the mouth, so that's kind of what he was laying there. I think that was one of them. But I know it happened another time last night. I'm not exactly sure what happened in that play. But Sonny's tough. He'll get through it.
With Zach, is this just a player kind of having his confidence grow and just seeing the emergence of a pretty good player right now?
Yeah, I think, he's always been, he's always had the potential to be this type of player. He's a big guy with very, very good hockey sense and a great set of hands. And I think that he's pushed himself and willed himself into this type of player by, being a harder guy to play against, consistency every game in and game out, and just how hard you got to work, in game to be successful. And I think it took a little time, but it's really coming out now.
Sundqvist, though, is he just a perfect example of a player that's taken his game from one step and just not taking the next step, but taking leaps here as to where he's evolved?
He's similar in a way that, when we first got Sonny, he was looking for a role and looking to be a consistent NHL player, and we gave him a good opportunity, and he just took it and rolled with it. And he's not satisfied. He wants to get better, and he wants to, keep improving, and that's what I see with him. He does a lot of good stuff for us every night. Whether he's on whatever line he's on, what position he plays all 3 forward positions for us, killing penalties. I mean, he can do it all. He's a very versatile guy that he wills his way around the ice. Is the way I look at it. Like he doesn't let anybody stop him.
What does it take for a guy to get into a mindset and mentality like that to want to elevate his game? There's some guys that are just, they understand they are what they are, but you know, to be a guy that wants to be better, what does it take to get into that mindset?
Highly competitive. That's but basically what it boils down to, and that separates certain players from other players.
Could you were talking about his mindset, willing himself. Could you see that in him right from the start? Because his first year there, you know, when you were associate head coach, he was just kind of a defensive specialist.
Yeah, and a lot of guys start out that way. You know, I've coached a number of players where they got to find a role to be a consistent player night in and night out in the lineup. And you know, a lot of guys want, you know, that's the first step. You know, is to be an everyday player. And I think that you know, he became that, but then wanted more. And you know, we want all our guys to do more, you know, night in and night out and get better. We expect everybody to play 200 feet. So, you know, we expect guys that are good defensive players. We expect them to put the puck in the net too and produce and help us score.
Bennington was working out there today with like a dummy in front and some players in front. Was that just kind of working on seeing shots?
Yeah, fighting through traffic a little bit more and things like that. So that's what that basically is. Yeah.
And last night that seemed to be a real challenge.
A couple
there.
of goals. Yeah. So it's inches here and there. It's not that much, you know. It's not an overly huge thing, but it's inches here and there, and that makes a difference. And you know, Davey does a great job of those guys. They try to fix what the issue is, or if there is an issue, and work on things. So.